So welcome back to episode 9 now of the Dallas Mavericks My League series here on NBA 2K18. In today's video, we're going to be doing the 2020 NBA playoffs and basically pretty much most of the offseason now. I did have some live camera footage for this video. Unfortunately, the camera footage got corrupted so this is pretty much just a voiceover. I'm only kind of doing a little bit of a recap of what just happened. So as you can see right now, we're in the playoffs. Currently, I'm pretty sure the footage is rolling. We are currently a 6 seed. We are taking on the 3 seeded Minnesota Timberwolves. Normally, this also would have been like a 10-minute video. It's probably going to be a whole lot shorter now because, I mean, I can kind of just talk and ramble and stuff in the video. I can't really do that because it doesn't really make much sense. So here we go. We can just pretty much go over this. We took on the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round, as I said. I'm going to be honest. It didn't go well. It ended up, well, you'll actually see what ended up happening. We ended up losing game 1. I'll tell you that. Here we are. And we ended up losing pretty much all the rest of it. I ended up hopping in. I'm not going to show you guys that in-game footage right now just because it's not really needed. But basically, we ended up losing this series. We ended up getting swept 4-0, which is kind of unfortunate, I know, but ultimately, it was fine. I showed you guys some player retirements right now. There was pretty much nobody shocking except for maybe like a couple young guys that really, I guess, really could just not like find homes. We also had a few shocks this offseason. We'll get to those eventually, as I just showed you right there. We did have pretty much all the player retirements, Hall of Fame inductees, jersey retirements, stuff like that. Staff signing right here, I'm pretty sure I kind of just skipped over. Really, yeah, it's like, see, our staff's totally fine. I also went over how I might boost Dirk to the head coach next year. I might up his ratings a little bit just because I know he was, like, right now he's like a C- on offense. He's like B potential, I think, and something else on defense, but which isn't great. And here we go. We ended up with the 7th pick from the Miami Heat. Now, I'm not sure if the Mavericks actually have this pick in real life or it's some trade that I made and I just wasn't sure of it, but we ended up with the 7th pick. And so this draft class isn't amazing. It's not horrible. I pretty much just went over and I was seeing right now who had our pick, because I was still kind of confused about how we ended up with the Heat pick. So I just like checking out, like, did I make a trade with the Heat, like swap picks by accident? But I didn't end up doing that. I think the Lakers ended up having it from that trade last year so we could get RJ Barrett. But if you take a look at this draft class, it's not a really good draft class. LaMelo Ball was the guy I may be looking at, but point guard, pretty much all set. Starting point guard, Dennis Smith Jr., backup Trayvon Duval. I pretty much went over all of these guys, and there really wasn't anybody I could find. And so I did look for a trade for a little while, pretty much for somebody that could maybe be a nice bench piece for us. But then I was like, giving up the 7th overall pick for a bench piece is just kind of stupid. Like, there are clearly some good trades here for like players that definitely could start for us, but that's not realistic at all. So if this is like a normal My League rebuild, I would definitely do this. And I also don't really want to trade it for a future pick, just because I mean that's kind of realistic maybe, but I might end up never using those picks. So I ended up hopping into the draft. After thinking about it for a while. You guys will probably see the draft right now. If we can just, I'll move up to the draft right now. Right here. So I'll show you guys right here who went. It was James Wiseman. Al O'Neal went 2nd overall, 68 overall. Or excuse me, some young guy, Al O'Neal, went 3rd. And then LaMelo Ball went to the Lakers at number 5. I think it's very fitting he went to the Lakers. So I pretty much, it took me a while. Like, I definitely talked about this one for a while. Pretty much all the guys I could get, they were all in the 60s. The guy we ended up going with was not in the 60s, but he also wasn't very good, and I pretty much went over that he is probably going to spend a year in the G League. So I pretty much went position by position of what I could need. Point guard, I realized I'm all set. Shooting guard, I'm all set. I ended up telling you I'm going to bring Alkins back, and I'm going to probably let Grayson Allen walk, just because he's not putting up great stats, and since I sent him to the G League, he just absolutely hates being here. I realize that's kind of like a side effect of sending players to the G League, that they do not want to stay with your team after you send them there. So some of them end up turning out fine. Grayson Allen's obviously not one of them. So I was maybe looking at a replacement for backup shooting guard if Alkins can't hang, but I am probably going to bring him back, as you'll see in a few minutes. And so the guy I ended up drafting, small forward, I know we're good with Musa, and then I'm probably going to bring back Barnes. And then power forward, I know we're going after Kevin Love and maybe Draymond Green. So I showed you guys the team right now. I pretty much was just going over all these positions. I pretty much did this. If we can skip to up here right now, I'll show you the guys I ended up drafting. I ended up going with the center, Donovan Daly, this guy right here. He's a 72 overall. I know it kind of stings to waste the 7th overall pick on a 72 overall, but unfortunately, it's pretty much all we could do, because I feel that was the most realistic thing, just pretty much draft somebody. And maybe, I mean, there are shitty draft classes. Pretty sure like the 2013 draft was absolutely horrible. So it happens. We move on to team player options right now. Dennis Smith Jr. is obviously coming back. Millsap's going to decline for now, and then Bamba I'm going to bring back. And then Justin Patton, the game wanted me to bring him back, but if you look at his stats right here, he's really not that good. And I think as I mentioned in the video, I would like to kind of pretty much bring a veteran on the team as a backup big man, just because we're a pretty young team right now, and I think definitely we could get like, I think we could be a little bit better, especially with a nice veteran presence. Sean B40, Riley Atkins, or I always say Atkins, it's Alkins. I ended up giving the qualifying offer to. I do want to bring him back, and I didn't give it to, who was that? It was whatever our backup center was. I forget his name. I looked, these were pretty much the two guys I was going into free agency, targeting Draymond Green and Kevin Love. This free agency class is always very weak. I knew that going into this, so I don't have huge hopes for it. As I mentioned in the last video, Barnes is somebody I might like to bring back. He unfortunately, or not unfortunately, he is going to probably come back. I know I don't want him to come back. If you see, we're throwing an offer to Kevin Love right here. Pretty much a 4-year deal, the full 9 yards, and it looks like he's going back to the Cavs. So that's terribly unfortunate. I'm going to throw an offer to Draymond Green as well. I mean, it can't end up hurting us. Long run, we get him, we get him. I know a lot of you were saying if you don't go after Draymond Green, it's kind of unrealistic, but I feel like if somebody gave him an offer like this, like, see, the Warriors still the #1 offer, obviously, and then I wait a day, I'm going to go ahead and give Millsap pretty much just what I was planning on giving him this offseason if I didn't land any free agents. Pretty much just a 1-year deal. I don't forget if I gave him the team option or not. I did end up giving him the team option and the no trade clause just because I'm not trading him for 1 year. And that's pretty much all the free agents we can use after day one. And look at this. We got Draymond Green. So this is pretty much where I need your help right now. Do we sign Draymond Green? Because this is pretty much where I paused the video and was like, okay, let me take a minute to do this for a second. Like, there's going to be a lot of big decisions. I'm not going to have to renounce the rights on Harrison Barnes to bring in Draymond Green as long as I renounce the rights on Dwight Powell, which will absolutely happen. You see, I saved out of my league right here just so it would save. So I need your help. Do I bring in Draymond Green? I think personally we should, because I think it's not, I wouldn't say it's a realistic move to bring in Draymond Green, but I definitely wouldn't say it's unrealistic. Like, eventually you can only get to a spot in your career where you want to be like a 4th option so much. I know he's not a big scorer or anything like that, but maybe a change of scenery would help him, like, bolster his career, maybe make him that Hall of Fame type player. So if you think we should bring in Draymond Green, I'd be more than happy to do it. Please let me know any suggestions down below in the comment section. Again, I apologize this couldn't be a live commentary. I lost the footage, or excuse me, the camera footage, so there's nothing I could do about that one. But we're going to try to get the next episode out pretty soon. Just let me know what I should do with Draymond Green, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.